All right, we're in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent today, and we're going to focus on the economic model and the lead generation model. And for those of you who are keeping score at home, this is time number 100 that I've shared this, and it's important. So we're going to keep talking about it until everybody is hitting their goals. Is that okay?
Yes.
Good, because I was going to do it anyways.
I know.
All right, so in the economic model, there's 3 key areas of focus. Please write these down. Number 1, the numbers you must hit. Knowing how the numbers interact takes the guesswork out of your business plan. In other words, the economic model begins with how much money do I want to net, not how much money do I want to earn, how much money do I want to net. If my net income goal is $100,000, for example, and my cost of sales is $16,000, that's what it is in Keller Williams Coral Springs, and my expenses are $20,000, then I need to gross $136,000 in order to net $100,000. Fair enough, right?
Yes.
Then the next question is, well, what's your average commission check? And you take 136,000 divided by 8,000, if that's your average commission check. Now that tells you how many homes you need to sell in order to net $100,000. Now, if your business is 50% on the seller side and 50% on the buyer side, then just take that total number of transactions divided by 2, divide it in half, and now you know how many seller sides you need to close, you know how many buyer sides you need to close. Now, knowing your numbers, what percentage of the listings you take close? In a really hot market, it might be 100%. As the market starts to cool, that number might be closer to 75%. The number that Gary Keller shares in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent is 65%, just so you know. And that's to take in consideration all markets, not just really hot markets. Now, you take the number of deals you need to close on the listing side, divided by 75%, it's going to tell you how many listings you need to take in order to close the number you need to close. Now, what's your conversion ratio? When you sit down at the kitchen table, what percentage of your listing appointments turn into listings taken? If your conversion ratio is 75%, you take the number of listings you need divided by 75%, and now you know how many appointments you need to go on. Same thing on the buyer side. Now, let me go back to what I just said a moment ago. Knowing how the numbers interact takes the guesswork out of your business plan. Everybody follow me? I just explained to you how it takes out the guesswork. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. All right. The second key focus of the economic model is focus on appointments. The end result of your economic model is net income. What causes net income starts with appointments. If you don't have the appointments, nothing else matters. Page 132, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. If you don't have the appointments, nothing else matters. The third thing that I want you to focus on is conversion rates. Conversion rates are the key variable in your income equation. In other words, these numbers change depending on your conversion rates. And what do you need to know in order to complete the economic model? Well, you need to know what your conversion rates are. From page 132 of MREA, Gary Keller says, if you step back and look at your economic model, something should stand out big and bold to you. Converting leads to appointments and converting appointments to listings are huge drivers of your economic success. They are both accomplished by a skilled presentation with a firm grasp of scripts and dialogues. In other words, if you want to get better conversion ratios from conversations to appointments and from appointments to agreements, master the conversations of real estate. Master your listing presentation. Why should I hire you? What's your answer to that question? What are the 3 questions that every seller is asking that I need to answer from the moment I show up at that front door until, are you ready to get started? Do you know the answer? Thank you, Joel. You're right on track. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Do you know what you're doing? How are you conveying that? Are you winging it? Or do you have a listing presentation that you've mastered? Thank you for taking time to meet with me today. It is always a privilege to discuss the possibility of the Deeds team representing someone in the sale of their home. Now, before we get started, I'd love to share my mission statement with you. My mission is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. And because of that mission statement, whenever I meet with a potential seller, one of 3 things typically happens. One of those 3 things will probably happen today. Do I have my listing presentation mastered? Yes, I do. Matter of fact, as a new real estate agent in 2002, this was my biggest aha. If I was going to be a successful real estate agent, especially if I was going to be a successful listing agent, because remember, I sold an average of over 100 homes a year, but I never worked with a buyer. So 100% of my business came from the listing side of the business, which means, Joelle, that I had to master my listing presentation. So I put my entire real estate business on hold until I had mastered my listing presentation. Now, what that did for me when I called and Rosario, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Now, I can ask that question with 100% confidence because if I get to the plate, it's a home run. I'm never going to strike out. I'm always going to hit a home run. What gave me that confidence? I had mastered my listing presentation because I spent time taking batting practice, taking a lot of batting practice until I had mastered that listing presentation, mastered the scripts and dialogues of real estate. They could not hit me with an objection that I didn't have a scripted response for. Bring it. I'm ready. I've got this. If you can't make a convincing presentation, deliver purposeful scripts, or engage in effective dialogues, you won't be very successful, no matter how many leads you have. Now, I didn't say that. Gary Keller did, so don't get mad at me. I just read it. It's not me saying that to you. It's Gary Keller saying that to you. If you want to get mad at somebody, it's gary@kw.com. True story. That's his email address. Email him. I'm going to get in trouble for that. All right. Transitioning from the economic model to the lead generation model, page 133 of MREA. Once you know how many appointments you must have, you now have to generate the leads necessary to generate those appointments. 2 things I want you to focus on. Number 1, leads are fuel to your economic engine. That economic model we just talked about a moment ago, it goes nowhere without leads. It's like a car with no fuel in it. And Teslas don't count because some smart person's going to say, electricity is fuel. So that counts too. Leads are the fuel to your economic engine. Number 2, you can never have enough good leads. All right, so playing the numbers game, page 135. High conversion rates will allow you to generate the same income from fewer leads if you had lower conversion rates. But lower conversion rates can be just as effective if you can amass a great number of leads. So while conversion rates are very important, the number of leads you must generate is even more critical. So what does this look like? All right, so if I work 50 weeks, 5 days a week, I have 250 work days in a year. If I have 20 conversations every day, because that's the number, not 19, not 18, not 17. Because if I have 17 conversations, I didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that I didn't get, simply because I didn't have the conversation. I'm going to have 5,000 real estate conversations in a year. Now, I want to focus on 2 buckets. One of them is I want to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. I'm going to focus on for sell by owners, expired listings, circle prospecting, door knocking, open houses, and I'm also going to focus on working my database. The 3 laws of your database are build a database, feed it every day, communicate with it in a systematic way. Build a database, feed it every day, communicate with it in a systematic way. Now, what that means is I'm adding new Mets to my database every day. My standard is 1 a day, so I'm going to add 250 people in the next 12 months to my database. I'm building a big database. The size of your business is in direct proportion to the size of your database. The size of your database is in direct proportion to the size of your business. Say it over and over and over again until you've internalized this, you've memorized it, you can't stop thinking about it. The size of your business is in direct proportion to the size of your database. The size of your database is in direct proportion to the size of your business. Get that. Now, build a database, feed it every day, communicate with it in a systematic way is the 3rd law of my database. And the way I'm going to communicate with my database in a systematic way is through a 36-touch smart plan inside Command to all of my sphere of influence and my past clients. And because I've built a big database, I have 400 people in my sphere of influence and my past clients on a 36-touch. And I know that 7% of those homeowners are going to move every year, which means I'm going to generate 28 sales from my database. On the prospecting side of my business, I'm talking to for sale by owners, I'm talking to expireds, I'm circle prospecting, I'm door knocking, I'm doing open houses. And my standard is I'm going to add 1 new person to my pipeline every single day, which means I'm working 250 days. I've added 250 people, and then I'm going to follow up with them systematically forever because I reject rejection because no is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. I understand that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. And I'm creating emotional proximity by following up forever. And when they make that new decision based on new information, that new decision is going to be to hire me. Holy cow. Did you guys get that?
Absolutely. Every word.
I have it written down.
Over and over and over.
All right, talk to me. Been up since 3 drinking coffee. Can you tell?
That explains it. Okay.
Now talk to me. Did I scare anybody? I hope I did. Yes, somebody's talking to me on Zoom.
It's Laura. It's your child that
Laura.
always runs away but comes back.
Hi, Laura.
How are you?
Fabulous. Just a
Well,
little bit.
my intuition told me I got to come and listen to your video today, and
Okay.
you gave me just the exact information that I needed
Good.
to kind of boost me up again because I'm not a quitter. I'm a winner.
There you
And I just need to make sure I keep my focus where it should be and not
Good.
let my fear create procrastination.
There you go.
I'm
There
not a
you go.
procrastinator. Good to see you.
Thank you for that. I had a meeting with somebody yesterday, and did that meeting inspire this? I don't know. But my whole point was, what don't you get about this?
Oh my God.
Now, are you scared?
Yes.
Decaf.
Wow. That's intense.
He needs to come and do it right.
Oh my God.
Or some hat.
John, talk to us.
I think it's just reassuring. I think sometimes we get caught up in that one or two that slip away. And you just kind of have to remind yourself that the numbers are in your favor as long as you do the work. And I think this kind of just puts it in